Boom. Just like that. Joel motherfucking Kimble, jump bank. You're fucking here, man. I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you, dude. Thanks for having me.
I'm amped. You hit me up a week ago and told me you were stoked. And it's nice when your guest. It's weird to call my friends guests now, you know? Outside of this venue, you're my homie, but I think I have to call you the G word.
Yeah.
While you're here.
Profesh, dude.
Yeah, while you're here under this pretense, you're the guest. But it's fun when my guests reach out and they're like, yo, I'm excited. Because I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm excited. Because some of these, I don't know, people are nervous and stuff. And then I get nervous because it's like, why? What are you going to do on microphone? You know, so it's chill, dude.
Well, I watch podcasts. I listen to them all the time. And then, like, since you started putting them up on YouTube, that's, like, my new go-to thing, especially, like, the last week. Because I'm like, oh, man, I want to, like, get a feel for it. And, like, I get in the shower, I put them on. Like, I was watching the one with, what's his name that does the tattoos? I know I've met him, like, a few times
So
before.
there's Jacob Danhigh.
I think that was him.
The dude who's going to be doing my leg. This
Yeah.
is the infamous tattoo he'll be covering up.
You're covering that up, dude?
Yeah, dude. It's my friend. Do you know Julie Lodi?
Yeah.
So Julie Lodi was cool enough to tattoo me back when we were kids. And she drew this out for me on a piece of paper. And I was super into, like, the LA sign. I listened to, like, a lot of hardcore music in high school and stuff. So I don't know. I thought it was cool, and like with the baseball bats and like holding it down, like, yo, this tattoo's tough as fuck.
Yeah, I was like, do you play baseball or you just beat ass?
Like it was like a beat ass thing. But I've been in like 0.5 fights my whole life. It was fucking stupid, and so she wanted to get a tattoo gun. She did get a tattoo gun, and I stepped up to the plate to keep the baseball theme going here, and
support your friends.
Yeah, for sure. So I just wish that I would have, and Julie, I love you. I just wish that there's other ways that I could have supported Julie. I wish I had her, like, I bought a t-shirt or something, you know, because now I'm stuck with this, and the bitch is that I brought it up to her and was like, hey, do you think it'd be okay if I got this thing covered up? And she was like, get what covered up? And so she, like, hardly remembers.
That's the best case scenario. They're just like, oh, nothing. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, she can't have hard feelings because I'd be like, fucking look at it. Like, here, I'll have you kind of, I mean, like,
it's
look
pretty clean, dude.
It's pretty clean. You're hilarious, dude. It's not. And she did a good job, and she was cool for tattooing me. She tattooed me, like, in her bedroom, like, at her old parents' house. Like, it was
it like party scenario, like, oh, hey, you got a gun, do it? Or do you guys like plan it?
No, I like set a time. It was like first thing in the morning. it was
like,
not,
you were like fully like sober in your mindset to like,
it was my first tattoo, and I like hyped it up, like I like took a picture of it with my flip phone. Miles Johnson was like SMH.
Sure he had nothing but positive words to say about it.
He was not having the tattoo. Julie literally lost a customer in Miles that day.
Oh,
and
shit.
Then so I've had this forever, and I wear shorts above the knees, like always have, and it's just unfortunately has just been something that I've displayed to the world forever. And in this time of me having people over, I look for ways to support my friends, not only my friend. Well, it'd be weird if you're my buddy and you haven't been on yet. There's a reason you haven't been on, and it's got to be like a time thing. I ask everybody to be on, you know, but especially if you're a guest, I'm more inclined to do something that you're related to, you know. Even now, if I found out that you were doing a pool tournament or something, I'd have to go because now it's like, now there's a straight up, there's a podcast behind my attendance to that tournament or whatever it is, you know, and it's cool. And that's kind of what the whole plan for the podcast was, is to just kind of like build a community that already existed, but just kind of like, I don't know, brought it in. I'm going to get another microphone, and like if I know somebody from the other spectrum that plays pool, it'd be cool to have you guys both on type deal, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
as an example. So
Yeah, it's funny because you got that tattoo and I got like my first tattoo, and I mean I have 3 tattoos and they're all the same, like shitty, you know, homemade gun things. But I have
you did it with a homemade gun,
yeah,
like
do
electric.
you know Mark Ostrom?
Yeah,
Yeah, so me and him used to party all the time back, or not party, but I mean we were best friends, you know, for years. And he was like all stoked. I mean, you've seen his motorcycles and his
Yeah.
vans and truck. Like
Yeah.
he can build anything.
yeah, for sure.
So
So
he-
he could definitely build a tattoo gun.
Yeah, he gets the first one we did was an electric pumpkin carver. So it was like a little mini sawzall,
Yeah,
and he took out the blade and put in a guitar string, and I think we used computer ink. So like my other friend Dylan Conniff, I think you know him. He got he probably got the first one. Got like a beer can or something. And then I was like all into Led Zeppelin and stoner metal, so I was like, oh, like let me get a pentagram on my knee.
sick.
So he starts off. These pants are like too high to,
Yeah.
or too tight to pull up.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'll take
he's-
your word for it right now.
He starts off with a circle, and like it's so bad. Like the circle starts off at like a 1/4 inch thick, and it was like, you know, it's so painful.
Yeah.
And then he just like eventually like thins out into like this hairline, and it's just like dot 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 by the time it gets back around. And I was like, dude, I can't do 10 lines of the pentagram or whatever that is.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm over it. Like, just leave it as a circle. And he's like, oh, you know, let's just make it a happy face. He just makes 2 dots in a little circle.
So
And
now
that
you have
sits
a
on
happy
there.
face tattoo on your leg.
Yeah, yeah, and mine's lower than yours are, so I don't wear like that high up, but I like any trunks. You know, and when I work in the summer and I wear shorts, like it's just right there for everyone to see.
Are you gonna do anything with it? Get it finished, bro.
I've thought about it. Part of me is like, screw it. It's kind of like a memory, but I want to get other tattoos, because now I'm just sitting here like I have one shitty tattoo and like that's it.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's more like tweaker than just having like one shitty tattoo on your leg that your friend did and you didn't, you know, do anything else.
Yeah. Well, it's weird picking a tattoo for yourself though, right? Like, even, like I got these done back. Even, like they
are
mean
sick.
something kind of, but they just kind of mean something. Now I'm at the point where, like, I kind of, I don't have that piss and vinegar in me like I used to, you know? So I'm much better off. Like, Jacob is going to be tattooing me, and he is doing the design for me. Like, and he's just doing something he knows it within the realm. It's going to be like a skull and roses and shit. Here, I can pull it up for the sake of the conversation. I want you to see it because, and I actually can't show everybody because I want it to be a surprise. Here. But you see, like, I had him kind of pick what he would feel comfortable doing, and I think that's how I would get tattoos at this point now.
Yeah.
Like, instead of me being like, I can't imagine me sitting in a tattoo parlor being like, yeah, dude, but like I want like a bear, but like the bear's like holding a lantern, and
but he's
then
like
there's
flying.
yeah, and then
But
there's
he's also swimming.
yeah, and it's like swimming and fire, but there's like flames, but it's a sword. It's like
Yeah.
sword flames. You know, I
Yeah.
don't want to have that conversation anymore because like tattoos are bullshit, but I think they can look cool. I would rather have art pieces by my friends
Yeah.
tattooed on me
Yeah.
at this point in my life.
Yeah, and then like later on down the road, he's got probably a way better like long distance vision on tattoos. You know, like
Yes.
I think back at all the tattoos that I wanted to get when I first turned 18, and then I found out how expensive they were, and I was like, thank God. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to get like, sorry, I keep bumping it.
No, it doesn't matter.
I want to get like Thor, or not Thor. Oh God, I can't remember his name now. Arnold Schwarzenegger and that 80s Conan.
Okay.
That like basically the cover of Conan the Barbarian like on my forearm.
Could you imagine?
And then I would have had to continue it with like, what do you like follow up with that? And
Or you bail and you just have and you can't like not only have that, because
Yeah.
then it's almost like, you fucked up so bad that like you're scared of tattoos now.
Yeah.
You'd have to like get some other shit. But yeah, man, tattoos are weird, right? It's like tattoos look cool, I think. So I wear these glasses, and if I take them off, I can just like kind of unfocus my eyes. And I think tattoos in general look sick. But if you go into each one, you could find a reason why every tattoo in the world is stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Hell
saying?
yeah.
So it's kind of best to just, and I like this approach where, I mean, Jacob, and it almost like Jacob read this telepathically. I was just like, yeah, can we cover this? He's like, yeah, no problem. It'd be this much money. I'm like, okay, epic. And then that was it. And then he just, when he was on the podcast, he just kept saying like, yeah, you're going to like it. You're going to like it. And I was like, oh, I kind of like where this is going. Like just trusting your artistic whatever, because number one, it's kind of stupid to put a tattooer in a position where he's uncomfortable to tattoo whatever you're asking him to do.
You're not getting the best tattoo if he's not.
Yeah. So it's like, if you want to get a tattoo from a tattoo artist, you should probably just be like, hey man, like they're all the same at the end of the day, So help that they're not like fucking, I don't know.
And let them do their specialty, It's like don't ask them to do something that they're, if he's like a black and white guy, or he's like, good at lines or something. Don't be like, oh, like let me get this portrait of my grandpa on my fucking chest or something. Like,
like don't go to the black and white guy for your Conan tattoo. For sure.
Because that one was gonna be full color, like red. And, like,
that was gonna be like
background.
aggressive too. Like you're standing on grass and shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. And what's also crazy is how people get the scenes tattooed on them, where it's just, first of all, too much color freaks me out. I think when people like have like super like fair skin, and then it's like purples and greens and shit, I'm just like, bro, what happened? But it's just not for me, Then I have friends that are obsessed with color, and it's, I don't know. I think that's the thing about tattoos, is like you should only get what you're willing to wear forever, when I first got this elephant one, I would wake up in a panic after I first got it. Like, what did I do? What the fuck did I do? But it grew onto me. But there was a little bit there in the beginning where I was like, man, I done fucked up. Dude, every guest gets a piece of art. There's your piece of art. It changes every month. Everybody on YouTube or who's watched this on YouTube has heard me say this 5 times now. But see, like up on the whiteboard, that was the one for last month. The one in the frame over here.
The super soaker.
Yeah, the super soaker. So it's like every month, and depending on, so like let's say in August or July or something, you have a big tournament. I'm like, dude, come back on and tell us about it. You'll get another one that month. Yeah. And then I'm not gonna ever not do this. So 3 years, 4 years down the road, say you're on like 6 times, you have like a little piece of art or something to show.
Put this up on the wall, dude.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
I was actually gonna ask you because I wanted to make some kind of logo. Yeah. I mean, I always have the dreams of selling shirts and stickers and stuff. I don't expect it'll really get that big, but I do want to make like stickers and then just give them out and have people slapping them on pool tables and stuff.
Yeah, you were slapping them on pool tables?
Well, not like good pool tables. Like going to like shitty bars and like slapping them on like some beer stain junk or whatever, or just anywhere, people's cars and stuff.
Yeah, understandable. But what's your question?
Can you do it?
Yeah, I mean, like
obviously I'll compensate you.
Yeah, I could do it. My only problem would be right now is like this month, first of all, June, this is what kind of psycho I am. June's already booked. And I should have
You're
some
very
time
organized, dude. I'm surprised like how like organized, professional in the dates and following up on stuff.
Yeah, I used to not be like that. I used to not be like that. Number one, I'm sober. Okay, you want to be a buzzkill about everything. Be sober. Number one. Number two, dude, in order for something to be organized, you kind of got to be organized, man. I was afraid of this, like, being, first of all, how this evolved is I originally grew up, I made some people laugh inside and out of the classroom, you know,
Yeah,
and thought
yeah.
that I was relatively a funny dude. So I thought that I would be one of those dudes on Twitch that makes a couple jokes while playing video games for the first time. I like both things. Excuse me, video games, making people laugh, and I thought that okay, that's
perfect
my
combo, dude.
that's my calling. That's what I'll do. But it's kind of short-sighted. It's not very fun. I grew up in bands, so I was always like working with people, you know, collaborating and stuff. And this is just there's more longevity in this for me. Like it's more you get more juice out of the fruit to like check in emotionally with people, see what they're up to, what they care about, other than the fucking Andrew Olin show every day, you know, with video games.
Which I'm sure there's a market for that. I'd watch that.
I appreciate you, man. There is a market for it, but there's kind of an acceptance of self-obsession that happens with that, and I don't care to admit that I got it, you know. And I would much rather. I mean, this is fun for me. This is a lot of fun for me. It's like, it's fun to have people come in for the first time, to be like, whoa, you're organized.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool to hear that kind of shit, but it's fucking just as cool to have people come in again the second time, like my buddy Julian, and like feel comfortable and like have a groove on this podcast, you know. My only regret is when I called it ollenkilledit. That was kind of it ended up being like my artist name because I was producing art when I first sobered up, and it was my Twitch name. But now it's the local only podcast. The reason it's called the local only podcast is when you play video games on the same TV, it's called local co-op or local gameplay. And then from the beach, so off the play of locals only, local only sessions. But yeah, there's like still I don't know if I'll ever get used to my last name being blasted up on everything, you know. And my only compensation for that was to blow up my friends' names just as big in the corner, you know. There's still some adjustment I have to do. Just this month we started uploading to YouTube, you know. There's something we learn every month, and this will keep evolving. But yeah, man.
And this way you can get like every range of people on there, so you're not just in like that video game community, you know. It's like you got friends that are into art, music,
for sure,
acting, all that. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the market is it's a big ass market, and honestly, if I could me being on Twitch is just number one, it's just kind of I'm used to how it works, and I kind of have a system down at this point, and instead of trying to change something else right now, I'm just kind of writing something out for a month or two and then make changes. But I don't see why this won't just be YouTube streamed, you know, and off of Twitch completely. It was the great news is like if you look up at the screen, I have a screen, and this is the screen in which I'd play video games with people. It just doesn't happen a lot. Well, the new formatting, since we upload to YouTube, I do one local only session, this one where we're conversing, and then I would end it. And then if you wanted to play video games or something, I'd start up another one, and that one would just exist on Twitch, and we wouldn't have to worry about YouTube's strict copyright rules.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Because you're a content creator right now too, aren't you?
Yeah, dude. If I post a video, I mean, I've only posted a couple of videos on YouTube because I'm scared of all like that copyright stuff.
Yeah.
I know they'll like blacklist you and stuff.
Yeah, well, but it's not that bad.
Like they'll make it so that your stuff can't be seen. Like even Instagram, there's videos that, like if I'm in Lucky's and I record something and there's a song on the radio in the background, it'll be like, this video is banned in all these countries because you're playing this song. I'm like, I didn't even want that song in there. Like,
no way, really?
Yeah. And I'm worried about, like with YouTube, if I did that, you know, they wouldn't, what do they call them, like shadow bans and stuff? Like,
yeah, I think so. I've never gone that far. I know that I've uploaded stuff to YouTube, and it has told me that like I can't make any money off it, but I don't make any money off this shit.
Yeah, dude.
Actually, I just got my first Twitch check today. Bro.
Really?
Yeah, it was sick.
Okay.
It's not a ton of money, but it's cool to get.
That's a cool landmark, dude.
Yeah.
Like, That's awesome.
It's cool to get the first paycheck and be like, and it would, again, it was like almost no money, but it was enough money for me to once again thank everybody who has tipped me. You can tip me through Twitch, not donation. It's like you can use Twitch's like electronic currency. It's called bits, and it's like every 100 bits comes out to like $1.40, and people come by and they just like, hey, here's some bits, good job, Drew, keep it up, blah blah blah. And then people subscribe to me for $5 a month, and in that subscription, you're invited to my Discord server, which is like imagine like,
oh, I've heard that. That's like another live streaming, or is like more interactive. What?
No, so it's like a big ass chat room where like we're different channels, just chat though, but it's really responsive. You can send gifs and emotes and like, but so there's like you can make servers. So like there's the ollenkilledit server, and within that channel there's like updates, general chat. I have like a sobriety chat in there for, I don't know, not so much for me, but like, I don't know, there's like 19-year-old kids out there who maybe feel like all their friends are doing drugs and drinking and shit, and they don't want to do that. I'd like to like, it would be cool, another landmark for me to feel like, some kid, I helped someone out who's going through a weird time with their friends or whatever. So there's a sobriety chat, there's voice chat. So there's like voice channels where you just click and whatever microphone is hooked up to your computer, now you can like talk to people, and it's super clean. It's like the all-knowing chat thing. But if you subscribe for $5 a month, and your Discord's hooked up to your Twitch, you get invited to the Discord, and that's where, so like that piece of art, because these kids are like, one's in New Zealand, another one's in Scotland, I save out those my art in like phone wallpaper sizes and shit, so and like post updates and like respond back and chat with people. So it's kind of like so for $5 a month you get to like personally be in contact with me and can talk to me about shit and get my art for free. And
that's cool.
So it's kind of, you gotta,
that's a good model. That's like I think YouTube has something like that. I think. Have you ever heard of the 9 Club? It's like a skate podcast, but I think,
okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
shit.
They have one where it's like you subscribe for $5 a month and you get the videos like the night before or whatever. But I think like that's the coolest way. Like I don't want to watch ads on videos.
Yeah.
If they made it easy for me to just like click a button, like you said, like here's $1. Like I like that video. Here's $1.
Yeah.
Here, and you had enough people doing that, then it's like makes it. I'm not saying that quit your job and all this, but it's like that's
You'll
how
get to a point though, Jump Bank. You'll get to a point though where someone's like, Taco Bell's like, hey, what's up, Jump Bank? How about you show this ad and we'll give you 25 cents every time the ad runs? You'd be like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I'll sell out for Taco Bell.
Yeah, for sure.
I've thought about that, like, because a couple of people I follow, I mean, and they're like good and like competitive and like they're out like in the top, international.
Are we
tournaments
talking pool now? I'm stoked, dude.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm so keep going, dude. I'm fucking amped.
But they, I'll see them like they're like, oh, I'm now part of team, Muchi Qs, or I'm on Predator Qs now. Like they get sent like Predator stuff, or like they get sent free product, and now and I was like, man, I'm not competing at that high level at all. And I know my videos are like, all my trick shots are just like pretty silly. But I was like, man, that'd be cool if like some company was like, oh, here's a pool cue or whatever. And then I would just like film videos of me just like fucking around with it.
Yeah.
Like they make this one cue that's, it's like a carbon fiber cue. And it's super straight. Oh, it's light. Oh, it's all this. But like the main thing that I see, I'm like, oh, that'd be pretty hard to like dent or chip or warp or stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to like film stuff of me just like banging it and like dropping it and like spilling beer on it and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. But there goes your fucking sponsor.
But I know that like they're gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But you know what? It's that kind of thing, dude. you're hilarious. You should be doing something like that because I think that there's a market out there for you just being you in the pool market.
Dude, and that's like I didn't even start this to like start doing trick shots and.
How did this all start? Let's start from the fucking.
I don't even remember.
How long you been playing pool for? I know your whole group of friends. Well, I know Mark and the motorcycle boys. You don't have a motorcycle.
No.
How come?
Oh well, technically I do. I bought one off of Mark. If he ever sees this, he'll know. But he had this like little. This little like basically a kid's motorcycle I bought off him, and there's all kinds of problems with the DMV, but motorcycles to me are just
there's all kinds of problems with the DMV.
Yeah, dude. Well,
what kind of problems with the DMV, dude?
He bought it on a lien sale, so he never registered it to his name, so he owed like I don't know $400 on the title or something. So then he sells me the title, and I go to the DMV to put the title in my name, and they're like, it's in limbo. Like he never put it in his name. It's technically under this tow truck driver who towed its name, and like it was just I never ended up writing it. That was like my one chance.
Did they let you leave with
boy.
it?
Well, I still have it sitting in my grandma's backyard, but it's
the
a
backyard.
1976. Yeah, it's like.
Is there tarp over it?
No.
It's just been in the backyard.
I took the engine off because I was like, I'm just gonna put pedals on this thing and like make a little like beach cruiser out of it. But of course, I ripped the engine out and never did anything else with it.
Wait, so what kind of shape is it in right now?
It's just a frame and 2 flat tires, and the brakes the brakes are still good on it. So, and then I was like, oh, maybe I'll put an electric motor on it, but there's no real way.
Why don't you fix it, bro?
Dude,
put a 400 adult bucks into it.
Dude. Well, then the other thing is, I'm like, I just like sitting in the car. I don't see sometimes I see motorcycles. I'm like, man, that's cool. Oh, I want to go that fast.
I've never had that feeling.
Yeah, it's so fleeting. I'm like,
yeah.
And I know so many people just gotten fucked up on motorcycles.
Yeah, that's it, right?
And I used to be fucking carefree, and now that I'm older, I'm like, nope, that ain't worth it. I don't want to be a fucking vegetable.
So you are fully conscious of you're aware of the biker crew, but you just decided not to
respect the biker crew.
Yeah,
think they dress cool, but I don't have that desire.
All those boys love playing pool.
Dude. Man, I always like forget all their names. Who's the blonde-haired guy?
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. I played him a few times.
Did you lose?
Mike.
Do you lose to these guys?
Yeah, sometimes. It's like we'll always be playing at a party, like when we play at Mike D's house, and like there's 100 people around the table, and like there's no light on the table, and it's just, which, not to offend Mike D's pool table, that's a sick pool table.
It's so nice. Is it bigger than normal?
That's a 9. I'm pretty sure it's a 9-foot table. I could be wrong.
It feels big, or the balls feel smaller, or something. Like
I think it's something about the felt too, because the felt is like just that light color. Like, there's not really shadows on the table.
Yeah, dude.
But
all right, man. Let's start from the fucking beginning here.
Okay.
All right. Let me get my cup of coffee filled. Hold on.
Do it.
Here. Yeah, I got a coffee pot here, motherfucker. You sure you don't want any?
Oh yeah, dude. I drank the biggest energy drink at lunch, and I'm still buzzing off it. All
right, let's run this shit. So, as far as I can remember, we were buddies, and I used to throw little shindigs.
Yes.
At the house. Little ones, and no big deal. And were you playing, and this was about 10 years ago, were you playing pool then?
No. So I started like 2 days after my 21st birthday. Like, that was like the first time I like played. Everyone's played on like their friend's dad's pool table in the garage, or like, randomly. But on my 21st birthday, my friend that I worked with was like, come on, like, let me take you out to this bar in Long Beach. And I was like, I don't really want to go to a bar. Like, it's expensive. They're loud. They're crowded. And she's like, no, like, they got a pool table. I was like, I don't really care about pool that much. But then we went, and everyone was like super serious in this place. I think I went, or maybe it wasn't a tournament, but everyone had their own pool sticks. And even then I knew, I was like, most bars, people don't bring their own sticks.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this is like kind of a serious bar. And I beat this this lady who had been like cleaning out everybody. She was like king of the hill. And I made one shot, which is like a completely lucky shot, but I made this like awesome kick shot, and everyone that was standing around the table was like cheering and like banging their sticks on the ground, and I was like,
oh, it was hype.
Yeah,
it was like a big deal.
Yeah, and I was like, oh damn, like I'm kind of good at this, and like that was pretty fucking cool to have all these people like, you know, cheering when I made that shot.
Where was this?
Is that Red Room in Long Beach?
Okay. Oh,
maybe that with all the skateboards on the
yeah,
wall.
I
on 4th
went to a
Street?
skate premiere there. They the bar Ferns is right
Yeah,
there.
Ferns is like 2 blocks down or something.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, I played at Ferns a lot too because their tables are always broken, so they just let you play for free.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so then after that, I played at bars here and there, and then I found out about Mr. Lucky's. That's one of those places that nobody knows is there. It's been there since 1969, and you drive by it every day. But yeah, I started going there, and I'd say by the time I was like 23, I like completely stopped skating and was just like playing pool almost every day, and I just never looked back.
How long ago was that?
So started when I was 21 and got like really serious when I was 23. So that
and
was
you got serious.
Yeah.
Like you have posters on your wall of like pool companies and shit.
No. And see, that's the problem is like pool right now, like there's not cool things to put on your wall. Like these companies don't make cool stuff. You know, the average pool player is just so old. You know, they're in their 50s and 60s, and they're mostly from like Nebraska and Iowa and Kentucky, and like that's where it's all really big, and that's cool and all, but that's like one small portion of the population. Like when I see advertisements from these pool stick companies, I'm like, really? Like a guy in a fedora? Like that's what you like? I'm not gonna put a picture of a guy in a fedora on my wall.
For sure.
So
well, it's kind of got that speakeasy feel, right?
Yeah. Like somewhere along the lines or along the way, pool got mixed with like poker, like vaping, and
really,
yeah, oh yeah, dude.
Oh, there's Vape City at these pool things.
Yeah, luckily, like they banned it, but I remember when vapes were first starting to get big and you could vape indoors, like the whole pool room was just filled with vape smoke.
It's like a Black Sabbath concert.
Yeah. And it was like, it was kind of funny because it's like, oh, this is like a smoky old pool room, you know? Cause like, you can't smoke indoors. But yeah, it's terrible.
So where exactly is Mr. Lucky's?
That's on Torrance Boulevard and Hawthorne. So it's on Hawthorne on the corner of Torrance.
And that's not Mr. Pockets. You're talking right across the street from like, it's right.
Panda
the gas
Express and the gas station on the corner.
Right there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's where you like to play.
Yeah. I pretty much live there. I'm there every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then my Instagram page, I never posted anything on my old one, that Lord Banshee, which I didn't really post a lot on there
Lord
anyway.
Banshee.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I just like, I deleted it. I didn't touch Instagram for like 2 years. And
for just demonstration, let's play a video here. I am a huge fan of this video here.
Oh yeah.
Dude, 15,000 views is a big deal.
It is, but it's a anomaly. I don't get why these two shots were just like so.
Boom. Is that a big shot? You could say yeah, dude.
I didn't think so at the time. It's funny because like when I did it, I was like, oh, that was kind of like hard. Like, took me a while. Took me like 15 minutes, and then.
Took you a while. Took you like 15 minutes.
Well, like that's like you could probably shoot a shot.
That's 1,000. So and you got 15,000 views. That's 1,000 views a minute.
well, how many attempts was it? I don't know, because I could probably shoot that shot once every 10 seconds. So in 50 minutes, whatever that math is, like that's a lot of setting up, shooting it, setting up, shooting it, setting up, shooting it.
Okay, so it wasn't just like in a game, like
Oh no.
watch this.
Yeah, I wish. But yeah, that one. So that one was to get back at the first one I posted, because when I posted it,
Is that one up too?
yeah, that one. It should be the one before it. It's the same exact shot. That one. Yeah,
This
in the
one.
middle. Yeah, it's the same exact shot. That one actually looks better, but so I posted that, and either the next day or 2 days after, my friend Lee texted me at like 4:30 in the morning, and he's like, dude, like your shit just got like 200,000 views on Facebook, but it's not under your name. Like somebody ripped off your video. So I go and I look, and sure enough, some random international billiards page, which probably like a bot page or something, took the video and posted it, and it blew up. And his other videos had like 10,000, like 20,000 views, and this one had like 200 by the time I looked at it. So I was like, okay, is the shot really that good, or did he buy a bunch of views, or I don't know. But then he had all these
And you're
comments
tripping
on there.
because it's you.
Yeah, and like I'm stoked. I'm like, yes, dude, that's crazy. But I'm like, no, like they're not going to my page now. So I went in and I responded to like almost every single comment, and I was like, and everyone was like, oh, like he got lucky. Oh, he didn't mean to do that. Oh, but like, let me see you do that in the game. And it's like, dude, obviously I'm not gonna do that in the game. Like, and then also too is like, where else did you think I was going? So then I had to post that one of me drinking the beer, doing it one handed, to be like, see, like I did do it on purpose. Like,
So that's the second one we saw, the one where you're wearing a hat. That's the one that blew up.
yeah.
And then you did
I did the other one as like a middle finger to like everyone on there.
this one. Wait, hold on. Let's just not even. So with that face,
Yeah.
you did it again the next day.
Yeah.
And did it get the reaction?
A little bit, yeah, because I think so. I emailed the guy that like stole it pretty much, and then he posted my name on it, but it was like it already had done the rounds, Then he posted another one. He posted this one. He's like, oh, he's doing it again, and that one got like, it got a decent amount. I can't remember how many, but yeah, that one was just to prove everyone wrong.
Did you go tell your wife? Or you like, look, babe?
Yeah, I did. Like,
I'm fucking good at this. I told you.
Yeah. I told, like, because I was like randomly up, like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and just be wide awake for 10 minutes before I fall back asleep, and it just so happened that's when he texted me. So I was like wanted to wake her up, and then I waited till the morning, and as soon as she woke up, I was like, babe, 200,000 views, like look at this. And yeah, she was stoked.
That's huge, dude.
Yeah, but then I also knew too, I was like, man, that's probably the most views I'm gonna get on any video. I'm like, sure enough, nothing's come close to that. But
yeah, but you just need that. You just need to come in contact with that fucking. I mean, you only have 870 followers or some shit like that.
yeah.
You just need to be in contact with World Billiards Organization guy.
Yeah, well, he has that one, and see, everything that he posts is from like professional tournaments. So he'll go to like the ESPN matches. He's got a lot of like snooker. Like snooker is really big. You know what that is?
Snookers?
Snooker is like the British version of pool, and it's played on a bigger table. And the balls are a little bit smaller, but the pockets are like really small. And then,
Yo, is that Mike D? Does Mike D have a snookers table?
no, I don't think. I'm pretty sure that's a regulation 9-foot table. So like most of what I
Mike
play
D's
is on a
table
bar
seems
box.
huge. By the way,
It
there's
might
like
be.
rhinestones as the numbers. That pool table is
really?
super nice.
Oh yeah, it's really nice.
It's so nice.
And I think his dad got, like, it was just in the house when they bought that house. So
Yeah, and they didn't want to like move it out.
yeah, it's
or
such
some
a pain in
shit.
the ass. to
Yeah, but
move
it's a nice touch, that with the fucking bar and the
Yeah. Oh,
like
that
the
place is
movie theater.
my
God, it's
dream, dude.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's like a lodge in a house.
It is a lodge. Like you walk through the house, you're like, oh, this is a normal house, and you go up and you're just in a cabin.
By the way, not even normal house. It's like a really nice house, and then you
Yeah.
walk up and it's like, oh, I'm in, fucking I don't know, the bluffs of San Pedro.
That's an awesome neighborhood.
So, check something. So when you made that video and it got the views that it did that shift your objective? Did you want to be like an Instagram pool player, or are you trying to win championships? Like what?
Honestly, I just want to make videos that make other people want to play pool. Like whatever that is, like I want people that if you play pool and you see my video and you're like, "Oh, I want to go try that shot." Like that's great. But what I really want to do is people that don't play pool, or maybe they played a few times, to be like, "Oh man, like I want to go try that." Like that bar looks fun. I want to go do that. Or next time I'm at my local bar, I want to play pool. Like I just want to bring more people into the sport and
For sure.
and spread it,
Okay, but there also is a side of pool that is really like there's a gangster side of pool, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's like the love-hate relationship.
Like you make it, and I believe you. Like you make it, you want it to be this thing of unity and togetherness and positivity, but doesn't billiards have a reputation of being like it's a form of gambling?
Yeah,
like it's kind of grimy. There was one point in history where like the pool places like never closed because there was always money to be moved across the tables.
Yeah, that's definitely the history of it, and it's still there.
It is
a little bit. Like I think right now, at least locally, like and this is from me just hearing from the old guys that have been around the Los Angeles South Bay scene for a while.
And is there a scene?
Yeah, there's a decent scene. I've gone up to I used to go to like San Luis Obispo, Pismo Beach area, and they're smaller towns, but it seems like there's more enthusiastic players. But everyone in the Los Angeles scene is like at a pretty high level, not like professional, but like you don't really have casual players that have their own sticks and roll up. There's more of those people, but like up
Do you have
north,
your own stick?
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
Oh no,
I wanted to ask you before I forgot. Do you have it in a case?
Yeah.
Do you drive around with it all the time?
No, I'm lucky because they let me leave it at Mr. Lucky's. Because I don't know how true it is, but they say if you leave it in your car, like the heat and the moisture, it's cold at night and then hot during the day, so like that can warp the wood and all this. And it's like so anyone ever broke into my car, they could grab it. So they let me leave it in the back at Lucky's, which anyone could grab it from there. But
I have to apologize on the podcast because I totally fucked up your story just now about the San Luis Obispo.
Oh no, I'm just rambling.
No. I wanted you to finish your thing, and I made a mistake, dude.
No, don't even try.
I get better at that every podcast, but I still blew it right there. I interrupted you. So you were telling me about different scenes in San Luis Obispo, smaller towns but more enthusiastic players.
Yeah. So over there, it was like the players weren't as good. Like there were a few players that were pretty good, but it was more like, what's a good analogy? Like, say like the top pool player, the top pros are like a 10, and people who've never played are like a 1. Like Mr. Lucky's has a lot of like 6s and 7s, like not going to be professional, not going to win tournaments, but they're really good. And up north and a couple other areas that I've been to that have good scenes, there's a lot more like 3s and 4s and 5s. But that it's way friendlier, it's less intimidating to get started.
Less competitive.
Yeah, like we have a league, and people will join and they never make it because they just go and they lose 5 games every Monday night for 3 weeks, and like fuck this, like I can't win,
Yeah.
Like up there it's just friendlier, but
yeah.
But yeah, as far as like the gambling aspect of it, it's definitely still there, but pool like kind of just went on a decline in the 80s. So everyone always talks about like up until the 80s, like there's a pool table on every corner. They were like Starbucks, and you could walk in and gamble for thousands of dollars. Like and granted, it's a lot of bullshit. You know, nobody can prove it. So they're like, oh yeah, I remember back in '85. You know, I carry $4,000 or $5,000 on me at any time, and you know, I just walk in any place.
You
and,
still hear that shit?
Yeah, of course. And you can't, you know, I can't prove it.
Yeah,
I can't prove it one way or another.
yeah.
But then there's a whole bunch of reasons why they think it didn't carry on and why the pool halls went out of business and less people played. But it died down, and right now where it's at, you know, like Mr. Lucky is like there's like two or three guys that'll gamble, and no one else really gambles. And I know it's different in like the Midwest and stuff. That's the one thing I've learned about on Instagram and following all these people, like, cause they'll post stuff and then you can see like their stories. It's like, oh, like they gamble a lot. I mean, maybe it's not thousands of dollars, but you know, it's not uncommon to play for $20 a game or $100 for like best 5 out of 8 or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, around here it's like, and that's one of the things that kind of bugs me is everyone's like, oh, pool, like, are you a hustler? Like, that's like the number one thing that people associate with pool. It's like, well, yeah, I play pool and I'm good, but like, I'm not like a slime ball. Like,
Yeah.
And I know hustlers. I know guys like Hard Times. You ever heard of Hard Times?
Hard Times?
Yeah. That's probably like the most action, you know, gambling bar. It's in Bellflower. It's
Okay,
like right off the 91.
And it's called Hard Times?
Yeah.
Damn.
But
I was
like,
going to ask you what the most competitive bar is right now in like the South Bay.
it's probably Hard Times, or I don't know if you would consider Santa Monica South Bay, but they have House of Billiards and a lot of good players in there playing for money.
Playing for thousands of dollars?
Yeah, they might be.
So it still happens.
Yeah, it still happens, but it's not very common. Like, okay, if you take my pool league, there's like 70 people in that league.
There's 70 people in your goddamn pool league at Mr. Lucky's?
Yeah, well, there's 14. What's 14 times 5?
I'm the wrong guy to ask, dude.
Yeah, it's up there. It's somewhere. What's 15? 15
Well,
times
4.
5?
I think it's 4 times 5 is 20, and then you do 50. It's 70, right?
That's 70. I'm pretty sure that's 70.
Okay.
Yeah, because 5. Yeah, you always do like the half of what the. It's 70.
I did 4 times 5, 20, and then did 10 times 5, which was 50.
Yeah, I failed math a long time ago.
Dude, I went to fucking art school, and I really hope that I did not just taint our podcast with my baloney math just now. But whatever, I think we nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's like 70 players, and I'd say like on any given night, if me or anyone else were to go up to them and say like, you want to play for like $100, not, I mean, $5 a drink, whatever, but like you want to play for like $100, there's probably like 5 or 6 guys that'd be down to it or down to do it. But then there's all these stipulations, and it's like, you know, if I'm better than you, you know, you're gonna need some kind of advantage. I call it like giving a guy weight. So like when I play this guy on Saturdays, I play him. We'll play like 3 sets for like $5 a piece or something, and I lose every time. But we'll do it like he has to win 6 games and I have to win 5, or
It's like a handicap in golf.
yeah. So like they'll work something out like that, and especially now, everyone knows how good each other is. That's another thing with the internet and telephones and cameras and Facebook and all that. Like, used to be some guy could walk in and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm Pretty Boy Floyd, like just some guy in on vacation. What's this game? Pool? I'll play this."
Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah, have
Is
you ever
that a
seen that video?
person?
Yeah. He's still alive, dude.
Is he
When you
ripped?
get a chance, I've actually never seen him play, but
I don't know if we can play his stuff on this because it's his content.
oh, it's like a 45-minute long video from the 90s.
Okay.
It's just this guy giving like a how-to on how to hustle. But anyway, like those days where you can just anonymously trick someone into gambling you is over.
Oh yeah.
And then it's hard because like everyone just thinks, okay, if I'm gambling, this guy's hustling me. This guy is going to try to cheat me. He's going to try and trick me into this. So like when you go to bars and stuff too, like it's hard to get a game. And I know it's different everywhere else, but around here, yeah, it's like, and that's one of the things that I kind of want to show too is like it's not all money and let's not kid ourselves. Like we're not throwing around big sums of money. We're not these big gamblers. Like we're in here playing a game with.
It's not the movies.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the movies. Yeah.
It never is the movies for anything.
No.
Oh shit. Okay, but you clearly you have a love for billiards.
Yeah.
And there are people who reciprocate that love by saying, well, I would rather be practicing pool every day and playing for enough money every day so that I can pay rent.
Yeah.
Those people exist?
Yeah, there's people. It's funny because there's two kinds of players. There's guys that are like doing the tournaments. I mean, and they'll gamble like on the side. Then that's the big thing about tournaments is you don't go to win the pot, you go to gamble. But there's guys that are like, hey, I'm gonna practice every day. I'm gonna show up to these tournaments well rested, sober, not sitting around drinking. Play, do my best, go the next tournament.
Yeah, right.
Maybe I'll find a guy that I know that I match up well with and play him. And then you have other guys like the real, when you think of like a hustler, it's like they usually play poker too. Like the guys in Lucky's that game, like play poker.
They play poker at the place?
No, they play it differently, but or like at the card rooms and stuff. But it's like if you're like a gambler, like you usually have your hands in other stuff. But
yeah, you don't just gamble one thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's. Sorry, I'm gonna burp.
No, you're good, dude.
Carbonated water.
You're good, brother.
It's, like that hustler mentality. Only how many professional poker players do it for the rest of their life. It's like. Gambling is not a steady way to live. So the guys that do it well usually don't do it well for long,
Yeah. And they usually bail out.
Yeah. Or they're just they it's just
I don't know if they
notorious.
bail out actually. I don't know that for sure.
Well, like you make a lot of money and then you lose the next day. Like that's like the what's that word? The stereotype or like the can't think of a word, but like I know we knew this one guy who he was gambling a lot, and like you said, so he had a pretty good computing job, and then he got laid off, and he kind of was like, okay, I'm gonna go full throated into gambling, see how much I can win.
Probably thought it was his destiny. He was like, this is fucking God. Tell me to go fucking tell me to go be billiards boss.
Yeah, but didn't work out. Like
Does it ever?
Again, it's like a small percentage of guys at the top, the top pros, but like especially around here, you got three or four places where you can play for enough money that you could live off of. Like you, let's say you need to make $200 a day at least to live, and you probably want to make more than that, but there's only a handful of guys that are going to be willing to play you for that amount of money around here.
For sure.
And once they either you're going to lose to them all the time, or they're going to get sick of losing to you and
not play you anymore.
Yeah.
So you go tournament route. Is there enough tournaments to sustain income? There
is, but I don't know. And that's the other thing about since I started this Instagram and following people, like I'm surprised at how many tournaments there really is. I'm like, oh shit, like there's a tournament in Vegas like every month. I thought there was only like one a year.
Have you been to one?
Yeah, we go to the one it's called the BCA Championship, or I don't even know what it's called. We just call it like the BCA Vegas one. But then there's like the APA Vegas one.
And when you say we, who's we?
This is my friend Lee, that's the bartender at Mr. Lucky's. My friend J Moss. My friend Rhett, Sean, and Jerry.
So that's a pretty big crew. What are you guys all competing in it as individuals, or are you guys a team?
Yeah, we do it as a team. So it's like a 2-week long event, and if you wanted, you could do the whole thing. But we go for like the team portion. But we just fuck around. Like
Yeah.
Dude, the last time we went, so like nobody dresses up. It's not like a costume thing. Like it's serious pool players. Like we live 4 hours from Vegas, but there are people come from like Australia and Canada and New York. Like, you know, they wait their whole year and practice and train to do their best. And we're like, all right, let's go to Vegas. Let's get fucked up and, you know, try to have as much fun as we can. And we, so last year we went as, nobody dresses up. You have to wear matching shirts, and then they give out a prize for like best shirt, like best
team
uniform.
Yeah, best team look or whatever.
You know, for like we looked at who won like the last year, and it was like this some camouflage shirt. Like it wasn't even like, oh, that's funky, or like, oh, that's cool. It was like, oh, that's a nice shirt. Like you get best dressed.
Oh,
so we went the first year as Gilligan from Gilligan's Isle.
there you go. Solid move.
And we had like, you know, the red shirt and the hats. And our fucking friend Sean, we have the group text going, and he's like, hey, I need to pick a name for the team. Like we got to register. And so we're just throwing out the dumbest names, like just fucking around. And he said, oh, let's call it Joel Dirt and his neighborhood pickle slingers. So we're all like, yeah, like that's funny, that's awesome. And then he goes and makes that the fucking name. But the you know, the names are supposed to be like 10
characters.
10 characters long. So like every bracket that we're in, either it doesn't show the full name or it like stretches everything out and fucks it up. So then we're walking around and it's like you vote on best dress and everyone's coming up like, oh, hey, you guys are called the Gilligans, right? And we're like, no. Like, oh, well, like, what's your name so we can like vote for you? And we're like, Joel Dirt and his neighborhood pickle slingers. And they're like, what? And then so they either had no fucking idea or they do get like, oh, pickle slinger, like, oh. And so I think what happened was, because we went to go take the photo, and the chick was like, you guys got this, like you got this in the bag. No one else is nearly on your level. Like, don't worry.
Yeah,
you're gonna get.
How many people are there?
There's a lot. I think there's. Oh man, I want to say for the team portion, there's like 160 teams.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's huge, dude. There's like.
Don't make me do this math.
No. There's and when you go, it's at the Rio, and they have 3 banquet rooms that are like a football field each, and they're just covered with pool tables. There's got to be thousands.
That's where they do that's the Rio. The Rio. It's funny how that's like off the strip.
Yeah.
But that's where they hold everything, man. That's like me and Kenzie were in town for we went for a UFC and we actually saw Joe Rogan. We went to, dude, UFCs are fucking fun, dude. It's like Gladiator. It's so fun. Oh, it's so sick. But we saw Joe Rogan and Tony Hinchcliffe on Friday, and then the next night we went to UFC to go see I think it was Alistair Overeem versus the dude from New Zealand, Forrester. Forrester. I think it was Overeem Forrester. I don't know. They might not even be in the same.
How long ago was it?
Fuck, 3 years ago. That shit fucked me up.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan like straight up took a picture with me. So funny fucking story, real quick is, and I feel so stupid talking about Joe Rogan on my podcast, right? But we saw Joe Rogan stand up and Kenzie's in the front, and I'm always watching. I've been watching Joe Rogan for like 4 years now. That's a trip, man. But he has like a mentor complex to me, right? Like I agree with 95% of the shit. Not even the shit he says, but his execution on how he goes about finding out new information with an open mind and kind of
open mind, but also like critical, like, okay, let's
be careful about what we say here. And he like kind of a no bullshit thing, very honest. And I think that's why he has such a big following, is it's attractive to fucking see somebody who, one, doesn't buy into all the bullshit, two, tries to figure out the smartest way possible to go about getting information, and three, has like a general love for everybody and kind of everything. It doesn't take anything personally.
Yeah.
Just kind of like recognizes that like, no, you were probably just pissed off in that one little minute. Listen, bro, we're human.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
That whole thing's fucking dope. But anyways, and a testament to the kind of guy he is, and he was doing his stand up, and Kenzie's fucking yelling shit at him.
Okay. Like bad, or was it like
no. Well,
it?
Fruit of the Gods. It was his content, so he was talking about on his thing. He was talking about monkeys eating mushrooms, and there's a book out there called Fruit of the Gods, and I forget. I think it's Dennis McKenna or whoever that old trippy dude is with the mushroom guy.
Terrence
McKenna.
Yeah.
I think it's him though. I don't know if he wrote a book, but anyways, there's a book out there called Fruit of the Gods, and essentially what it was is monkeys were just monkeys until they ate psilocybin mushrooms and had visions of family and community and stuff, and it started warping the mind into what would be human beings. But it wasn't until then we were just animals, or not we, but we didn't exist, but
our ancestors.
just living in trees and kind of numbskulls, and then ate psilocybin mushrooms, and then all of a sudden, like, that female other fucking animal, you're like having visions of like spending time with them and protecting them and shit, and that systematically brought together whatever. So Kenzie goes, Fruit of the Gods, and I'm like, I'm pretty shy, if you can believe that. Like, I don't like to impose, and I'm like like, it was so loud, and I thought we'd end up on YouTube as like
female heckler.
Yeah, heckler gets fucking owned by Rogan. But Rogan was like, yeah, what about it? And then she was like, and then me and her look at each other, and we were like, we're in the Raw Theater, which is where they host Cirque du Soleil. It's huge, and we're like right up front, dude. And he's just like, yeah, what about it? And I look at Kenzie, she looks at me, and she was just like, and we were like, like, oh fuck, he said something. So anyway, she gets her way out of it. He plays it off like he's super fun and was like cool, and you can tell that he deals with fucking drunk people in their 20s all the time. He loves it, and I'll tell you why I think this. So we leave, and I'm just like, and I'm tired, and we're right outside the theater, and in New York, there's like a huge food court, and we're at like a Sbarro getting pizza or some shit, and we're walking back towards out the casino to go to the front door, and he's just outside of the Raw Theater, and there's the shortest little line, and he's taking pictures with people. And Kenzie was like, yo, you got to take a picture. And I was like, no fucking way. She's like, you got to take a picture. And I was like, okay. So I'm like straight up nervous. I'm like rocking back and forth. Like, I'm not even smiling and shit. I'm like kind of fucking, I don't know. I don't like what it's doing to me because I'm getting like fucking stage frights pulling me out of myself. But we finally get to him, and I thought he'd be like, hey, what's up, man? Picture, and I'm out. So I go up to him, and I'm like, hey, Joe. I was like, listen, man, I just want to say, like, you're a huge inspiration to me, and I respect not only how well you handle all of your guests, but your ability to, I don't know, like, I forgot what I said, but it was something along the lines of, like, how you go about finding information for yourself, how you're always fair and honest, and I appreciate that about you. And that's what I said. And I thought it would be, thanks, man, picture, right? But he goes, well, yeah, and he kind of leans back and pops up. He goes, but don't you think we, like, gotta be? And starts talking to me. And I go like this. And I freeze the fuck up, and I'm like, listen, man, can we just take a picture? He was like, yeah, no problem. And I have a picture of fucking me and Rogan. I'll show you after. But he made it look like he took a picture with me and made it look like we're like homeboys. And it was super cool. And I think everybody at that point was a huge part of his podcast, or a huge fan of his podcast. And everybody has been like, dude, how hard could it be to do a podcast? Oh. And from there, I just fucking, I don't know. It stung me a little bit. Everything after that, it was always kind of like, I always wanted to do one, but never. And it led to this. But anyways, that was my last time I was in Vegas. But that same weekend at the Rio, World Series of Poker was
Yeah.
going on, and what I wanted to comment on is it's really strange, and I think it's tactical because you don't want something like that to be happening on the strip, because it probably brings in a lot of traffic, and a lot of people go there just to play pool or just to play poker. You don't want to deal with the strip and this and that.
Their rooms are actually like pretty cheap and they're pretty big. So it's
everything off the strip is relatively pretty cheap, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, they do. I could be wrong on the timing, but usually when we go, I think they do the World Series of Poker like the week before or something. Because I think one time I remember seeing like they hadn't taken down the poker signs. Like they were still like posters on the wall.
WSP or World Series of Poker or whatever.
Yeah, or like their drink menu was still like poker themed. Like the little like
the blackjack bomber and fucking this and that.
And then I have a coworker who she plays darts, and their team they do the same thing that we do. They have a big darts tournament in the Rio, like in summer. And she and her team ended up winning like 10 grand or something. Like they went deep into the field. I don't know if they got first or like fourth, but like
the team got 10 grand or she got 10 grand.
The team, and then they split it up between everybody. So between five people.
What's the actual word for darts? Is it just called darts? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
What's the actual word for pool? Billiards?
We would. Okay, so like billiards, I think is like a bunch of different sports that involve a stick of balls on a table, because like I said, there's that game snooker, and there's
and that's considered billiards.
Yeah, and well, it's
shit. I hope I didn't put the title on this podcast billiards.
Oh no, yeah, no, billiards is good because especially like if you try to Google pool, you're gonna get swimming pools.
Yeah,
like so it like billiards I think is a better make it our own thing.
Yeah, for sure. Have you ever seen the movie what's the movie with Tom Cruise?
Oh, The Color of Money?
Yeah, you into that?
Yeah.
You into that movie?
Yeah.
Classic, right?
It's funny. There's one video. I don't know if it's on. Or no, it should be on there. We don't have to play it. But
no, we could play it. It's on your Instagram.
Yeah,
we could play whatever on your Instagram because you own the content. What I can't do is like play somebody else's content because if down the road it gets monetized,
then
dude, my buddy Julian last night got a message and he does video game. He like reviews video games and stuff. Anything from Nintendo, like if you pull up any Nintendo content in your video, YouTube sends you a message saying, "Hey, we just want to let you know that we've noticed you used Nintendo content. Every cent you make off this video will go to Nintendo."
Oh my god,
it's nuts, dude.
Creepy.
Oh, dude, I'm glad we're pulling this up because I want to ask you about what Trick Banks or what Kickbanks is. Look at all this shit. There you go. Keep Pool Shady.
Yeah. Yeah, do you remember all of them? Go up. Wait. Yeah, go up. It should be me, like, swinging a pool stick around. Go up a little bit more.
Look at this. What's up with this? Is this like an app you use to do this?
I just used the, when you make a story or whatever?
Yeah.
I just drew out, I think I took a screenshot. I have to do everything so ghetto. Like, I don't have a computer, like, do any of these things.
Really?
Yeah, so that one, I took a screenshot, put it on the story, drew out lines on there, and then just added the thing in. This is call this a one pocket shot. The game, there's a game where you can only shoot balls into one pocket. But go up. Fuck, where is it?
It's okay, dude. Don't worry. This is your. Oh, what the fuck happened here?
Oh, that's at Sports Harbor. See, I like making videos like that.
This.
Like like this. This to me is like. Like just dumbass, silly. Like that's my friend J Moss. He plays on the team with us.
I'm gonna turn this down so.
That's Shane Van Boning. He's like #1 pool player. I kind of flipping off the camera.
He's #1 pool player?
Yeah, well, it's always debatable, but yeah, most people would consider him, especially in America.
And where did you see him?
Well, that was somebody else posted that. Like, that was from somebody else's story, but he's such a clean-cut guy, and, like, he's all quiet and soft-spoken,
really?
and I was like, oh, shit.
Okay, so,
go.
By the way, shout out fucking
$100,
bro.
Dude, that might be the most.
I made my first
one.
$100 today.
Is that what you made from Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's
After
I thought
for
you were gonna
45
be like
days.
$3.71.
For
Dude,
45 days though.
dude, that's a sick amount of money.
You know what, dude? My feeling into it, two things. My first reaction is, wow, everybody who fucking gave me a cent is so fucking cool, and I almost want to go through and write down every monetary moment I had so that I can thank these people down the road. That's my first thing.
Yeah.
My second feeling is the grind continues, dude. Now it's like if there was
Now you gotta top it.
if there was ever motivation, like this shit could work, there it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Dude, that's awesome.
yeah, I after this is even done, I'll walk through the door, whatever, and then I come and sit my ass right back down on this computer, and I make a cut for Instagram, upload to YouTube. I get up every day at fucking 6.
Where do you work? I don't even know where you work.
Well, we can talk jobs. So I work here in town. I am a production artist for this dude. We do like automotive, but really I just am as I have a degree in graphic design, so I have like a little bit of a background in motion graphics. I've learned some film stuff. I just pretty much, he's like, hey, can we make a commercial that like does this? I'm like, yeah, I think we can. And I'm just like a can-do dude on a creative level.
That's awesome.
You know, and that's what I do. But it's down the street. And I work from like 7 to 9:30 every day, because this is I consider this work. You know,
Yeah.
you should you know, like anything, it'd be silly not to, but it's just something I enjoy doing. You know, but what are you doing right now for work?
I work for a door and window company.
For sure.
I was, for the longest time, I was doing deliveries, but now they moved me into the office to handle services, which
For sure.
It was kind of like a promotion thing, and then once I got there, I was like, oh, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's busy, and you're just dealing with pissed off customers, and it's stressful, but it is like
customer service is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing, is that, like, when I left the restaurant, I was like, man, I'm getting wherever I have to deal with the least amount of customers and no customers at all. And that's why I was doing deliveries. But
where did you work before?
When
you were working restaurant?
Yeah, well that was like my main thing, working at Ruby's Diner.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I worked there for 6 fucking years.
Yeah,
too long.
For sure.
But yeah, then I left there. I was trying to get into some film jobs, and it's such a hard field to break into.
You were trying to get into film jobs?
Yeah. So
what do you mean film jobs?
I was doing some PA stuff. You know Sabrina's husband Ben?
No. But I know who he is just through Instagram and shit. See pictures of Sabrina with this handsome bearded dude.
Yeah, he's like the guy from what's his name? Thorman Giantsbane or
whatever. Yeah, he does look like Tormund, doesn't he?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, he was getting me
shout out Sabrina.
Yeah, shouts out Sabrina. He was getting me some production assistant jobs, and then I was able to get on like some low budget camera jobs. So that's what I wanted to do, was camera stuff.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't paying the bills at all. And then somebody I met through Mr. Lucky's was like, hey, I heard you're kind of looking for like gigs and stuff. Like, I could use help working on doors and windows. I was like, all right. And I started doing that. And then, I ended up at the company I'm at now. So
how long you been there?
4 years. I was there for 4 years. I left for a year to go back and work with that guy originally. And then I came back and I've been there for a year. So
you gave the film thing a second go?
No.
When you say you left for a year, where did you leave?
The guy that I originally started doing doors and windows with, he was like, because at first he was like, I just work by myself. He's like a independent contractor.
Right.
And then he was like, hey, like, I want to make like a company. Like, I want to have employees. I want to bring you on. And then it ended up just being too much travel, and too kind of spotty. So they took me back at my old job.
For sure.
But I just consider I've been there like 5 years.
Are you just looking for something to pay the bills so you can play pool all the fucking time?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that pretty much it?
Well, I mean, I don't hate doors and windows. Like construction's kind of fun, and it's
good to work with your hands.
Yeah. It's relatively simple to like when I look at like electrical stuff or even like plumbing, I'm like, man, it's really difficult. But doors and windows is like, it's pretty simple. It's somewhat interesting. You get to go out in the field and.
What time you got to get up every day?
6 o'clock. I'm there at 7 too. Like,
yeah.
It sucks, but.
Yeah, it's gnarly, but you know what? It's like, have you reached that point in your life where you kind of like, so my boss has been like, hey man, like, if you want to come in from 8 to 5, you can do that too. Cause again, hour lunch break. And I'm like 8 to 5. And then I think about like really losing that hour after work. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. 7 to 4. Let's do that. And then I don't know. Now I really enjoy, I don't enjoy it. Waking up always sucks. Getting up out of bed always sucks. Being up in the morning doesn't suck, if that makes sense. Like rolling out of bed, having to like kiss your girlfriend as every morning. She's like, seriously already, dude? We just went to bed, and you're just like, man, like, let me get up.
Well, but once you're kind of like,
it's chill, and it's even to the point where like on the weekends, I don't mind being up early because
I can't sleep in past 8. Like, I'm wide awake.
Yeah, 8. It's gnarly. You feel kind of like fuck, like I'm making coffee and like rubbing your eyes, checking the clock, and you're like, it's like 9. Even if it's like 9:30, you're like, gee, why have a coma, Drew? Jeez,
lazy ass.
Yeah, you lazy fuck. It's crazy, but it depends. I was super. As I was sober, I was trying to do all these like gnarly things, like get up at 5:30, do some meditation, eat something before you leave out the door. Like trying to do all these things, and I was doing all of those things for a little, but it's just draining. So now I like make fair balances with myself. I get out of bed when I want to. I'm not late for work, but my first alarm goes off at like 5:50, so that I have some like time to like roll around in bed, kind of like fucking chill.
You check the phone first thing in the morning?
I don't. So one of
my
things that I need to stop doing, and you know what, as a content creator, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, because I'll put out this video tonight, and it's fun to see like, let's see how like people, let's see like how Joel's friends like Joel, and it's cool because like it's on my likes, it's always somebody's circle. There's like my people who just kind of like my shit, generally speaking, my friends from college, but it's cool to see like my friends' circles like my photos because a friend in their circle was on the podcast, so it's exciting. But I definitely feel, did you ever smoke cigarettes?
No.
Okay, good for you. I get the same feeling like I guess I can explain it like over caffeinated. Like if I spend too much time on social media, like I feel almost over caffeinated, like information overload, so there is ideally what I would love my life to be is create shit to put on social media and then grenade throw my phone away until it's time to fucking post something again. Like I acknowledge the fact that nothing productive comes from me checking my phone all the time.
Yeah.
But fucking, I feel like I gotta do it, dude. It's crazy.
And also it's like I'm the same way because when I had my other Instagram, Lord Banshee, I pretty much just use it to like lurk and look at pictures of like hot chicks and funny videos. Like that was it. And now it's like, okay, if I'm on Instagram, like I'm gonna go and try and find other pool players, see what videos they got, not just scroll through and randomly like stuff, but see, oh, I like that video, I like that shot, comment something. If there's a lot of like kids.
First thing in the day, you're checking.
Oh no, not first thing in the day. Oh,
like,
no.
Dude, you're nuts about this.
No, well, I am back. Cause, like I always get my phone, I look to the news stories, and then like news, and then once I've caught up on that,
you check the news?
Yeah,
I don't check news.
Oh, I'm a big news
but I want
junkie.
to, because like I feel like I need it in order so I could talk to people about it. But
It's I don't know, like Melissa she could give two shits about it. You know,
Your newlywed wife.
yes.
Cheers.
Oh,
Congrats, dude,
thank you.
to the newlywed Joel Kimble. How long ago was that? Not just recently, right?
March 23rd.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks. Yeah, it was so exciting, dude. It was so stressful. Like I don't know where you and Kenzie are at, but one day you will plan a wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm just.
I'd marry Kenzie for sure. We just we just need a little bit of time to get all of this shit sorted out.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, and yeah, definitely do that because I can't imagine. Like we moved into our house and I proposed like 6 months later or something, and then we started planning. I was like, dude, if at any point in time I had to like do a move or start a new job, which I kind of did, but I had a really easy transition from one job to the next.
Right.
Like if I had to do any of that while planning a wedding, like I probably would have jumped off a fucking cliff. Like it's so every single day there's something you have to make a decision on, you have to plan on, you have to research, you have to call, you have to email, you have to pay money for. Like get ready for that.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind. Like as I kind of do that with this, you know, and it's I've been with Kenzie for so long.
How long have you guys been together?
7 years.
Damn.
Yeah, we took
7 years.
Yeah, we took a year break. Well, I think accumulated, it's been a year break. But yeah, I love her to death. I won't be with anyone else, even if me and Kenzie didn't work out. I'd fucking throw in the towel.
Off the dick
I'd
right
cut
there.
off Lord Varys. We're good, good to go. I just it's just career move right now. But yeah, honestly though, if I came up on money for a wedding, I'd marry her next week.
Yeah. And then, that's the hard thing.
It would just be a fat ass credit card fucking bill right now.
Yeah, that's like, because you know me and probably most guys. I don't know about you, but I'm like, fuck it, let's do it in my grandma's backyard and just tell everybody bring their own beer and make a potluck.
Okay, I like your style, but there's no fucking way Kenzie's gonna like that. But
and as cool as they are, they will not.
Well, you only want them to have one, you know. You don't want it to be like, well, next time you have a wedding, you'll fucking. So there is a point there. I mean, half of what drives me and gets me to do the things that I do as extremely as I do, like how I really let my teeth sink into the shit I want to do, is so that when it's time to fucking marry Kenzie, I can give her the fucking wedding that she's always wanted. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to like, I don't want to feel when I'm fucking up there, you know, and I'm fucking dancing with my friends and shit. I want to be able to look around and be like, I fucking did everything I could to give her the wedding that I could. I don't want to be like, I can't believe I got away with half-ass in this, you know? So
skimping on stuff.
Yeah, like, so I just want, and I've only been sober. I mean, before I was sober, I was high like every day, just kind of complacent with my position in life, just floated through. And it wasn't until, I mean, this podcast has only existed. I've only been booking people since like the end of February, you know? So this is relatively new and it's already this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just need like a year to see what this looks like in a year. You know what I'm saying? A year without drugs and alcohol, because that's what makes me work the hardest. You know, I just like I just finally found out who I am, if you will, you know? I mean, I was stoned when I met you for the first time.
Yeah,
I would find a way to smoke pot every day. I would smoke pot before job interviews.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a jury duty. There wasn't a moment in my day where I wasn't high.
You're like a high functioning stoner.
No,
well, I mean, when I say high functioning, like you don't mind like being in public and talking to people. Like if I smoked before a job interview, I'd just be like fucking shit in my pants.
Well, see, here's the thing, dude, is I felt that, and I would feel that often, and it got to the point where like I was like, why am I doing this to myself? And like, can't remember. I mean, there's a couple times where like I'm rolling around crying with my friends, you know, because like shit is just so funny. But all those memories, man, those existed for me like back in the day, and I just spent like, you know, the great thing about weed is for me, and everybody's different. So I need to say that, especially as a sober dude, so that I can kick the soapbox out of the room here. This is what works for me. Full disclaimer. dude, I don't drink because I have a tendency to like, oh, where's the cigarettes at? And I can smoke a pack.
You haven't smoked cigarettes in a while. I know you posted something like.
Yeah. So cigarettes are kind of after I was sober. So I haven't. This Friday will be 180 days, no drugs, no alcohol.
Nice.
After I was sober, I got to be fair to myself. Like I would hit my friend's Jewel and shit. Drag a cigarette wasn't the end of the world. I don't smoke any more cigarettes or anything, but I wasn't really keeping my track on that. What was important for me is that one, I didn't drink anymore because drinking, I just didn't give a shit. I didn't see it as productive. I didn't love drinking the same way I didn't love drinking the same way I used smoking pot as like a safety net. I think with weed, I think it made me okay with just being okay. You know what I'm saying? And because I'm naturally competitive, like when I hit you up and I'm like, hey man, so I got the 21st, got the 23rd, blah blah blah, house 530, okay, blah blah blah, piece of art, coffee. I don't know. That's who I am naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And in order for me to just be okay with just being okay, I would smoke pot and it would make me lazy. But all of a sudden, and that's good because you should be comfortable with yourself. However, I do have a girlfriend that's like, yo, man, when the fuck are we getting married? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, man, 10 years just went by. You know, like, how different is your life? And it's like not that different, you know? And in essentially, you're kind of, you know, like you kind of, as far as 10 years go, I did like a C minus. And then I look like in the grade and I look through my life and like everything I kind of did was at a C minus. When I was in that death metal band, Font Hill, I didn't even have lyrics. Like I just like would like I sit and I existed doing that like C minus, man. In school, like I fucking just got a C minus average, like, and I just was tired of being a little bit below average. You know what I'm saying? When I felt like I deserved all this crazy shit.
And you know, you're like, God damn it, I'm smart. I'm not stupid. I know I'm not lazy. I know like, I know what I can do, but I just don't do it. Like, and I was the same way. I mean, I still smoke pretty much every day, but it's mainly before I go to sleep.
For sure.
And I smoke like way less now. Like, I've kind of come to terms that I'm like, I have a very like, I don't know, it's like a squirrel like energy when I don't smoke. Like it's pretty like, I'm high strung, you know? So I smoke just a small amount that I hate being high in public. Like I hate it. And all my friends are like, dude, what the fuck? He's smoking Mr. Lucky's every night. I'm like, yeah, but I don't get like high. Like if I'm like, oh shit, I'm high. Like then I'm freaking out. Like I pretty much
like edibles high.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Fuck that noise.
Like dabs, bong hits. Like I don't enjoy that. And like you said, like you were like, you know, before you go to job interviews, you know, you're like smoking, and I'm like, God, weren't you like terrified? And you're like, yeah. And I would do the same thing. Like,
but it was like still like just like a BB amount. It was to the point where like I was smoking an amount of weed that was so like, what's the fucking
what's
point?
The point? Yeah.
Like what are you even doing? It was, and the fact that I needed that little fucking thing, and it was just
at that point it's not what the weed is. It's like you're in this habit and you're
dude.
No, it's okay.
That stretched
the mindset, you know, it's like you said, it's like, what's the point? Like, why don't I just stop doing this shit?
Exactly. And I did, dude. And then so that happened, right? And that's all that was. And I was just counting the days. Fuck, 7 days, bro. Fucking feel amazing. Blah, blah, blah. Like all that kind of bullshit. But you're really just running off of like the excitement of being a stoner for 10 years and now you're not, you know? So every new day feels like it's your fucking, bro, like this is the answer. But that shit wears off, man. Around like fucking 90 days, you're back to like bored, you know? And like,
and then you're like, wait, why am I not smoking weed anymore? Like I did it, I proved I can do it. Like
for sure. But see, here's the thing with my story is I knew that I was going to need to do something to with my time. So I started making art. And I started the stream idea. So you can literally see in my Instagram where I went sober and how much I've done since.
Yeah.
And it's like every picture before then is like a basic ass picture with some filter on it. You know, it was like you can see that I didn't find meaning until I was sober. And the reason why sobriety is so easy for me to hold on is like when people are like, yeah, like I'm not drinking and or see me not drinking and stuff. It's I'm not drinking because I love not drinking. I'm not drinking because I have a whole record to show everything that's happened since I've decided to stop smoking and stop drinking. And it would be stupid. Like, don't broke if it ain't, or don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Yeah.
Bro, like I sobered up and we have a podcast now. There's art now. There's fucking all this stuff now, you know, and it's all. I mean, I made $100 doing this.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And it's like, so now when it comes time to have a drink or smoke some pot with something, it's not just like, come on,
what is
bro.
that going to do to the podcast? Or like, what is that going to do to my art?
There's weight, there's responsibility now, you know, and it's just kind of, this is the way it is. And I mean, I weigh it out like I can't be the best host. Like, I really wanted to hear all the fucking things that you had to say. I didn't want to miss one goddamn thing, and I didn't want to fuck that up. And so I owed you sobriety. You know what I'm saying? I owed you my undivided attention. But I have so many guests that, dude, I don't have any time to fucking get fucked up, you know, because there's always work to be done, and this is just who I am naturally, and I just spent so much time stoned that I fucking, you know, I forgot about that. So
was that hard? So, because I'm trying to picture. I was never good at art. I used to like to draw and I used to like make stencils, but I never considered myself like an artist. But I would picture. It's like, man, how do artists get sober? And I've seen a lot of artists that say that, you know, like, hey, I'm sober. I'm like, man, that must be hard to go from, you know, smoking and drinking and painting to being completely sober. Because I'm like, God, I have no desire to do it when I'm sober, like a little bit to do it when I'm, you know, drinking or whatever. But
yeah, so I don't do necessarily so much painting. I create a lot of digital media, so like a lot of the layout, what you see there, what you print. But the trick is to do so many drugs before you quit that it keeps gas in the tank for the rest of the time. No,
that's not a that's not a bad analogy. That's like you got the experiences out of the way.
I mean, I've dropped acid a couple of times. I've tried mushrooms, and there was some cocaine there, and there was all kinds of bad decisions, and I think and I did all of those in natural progression. You know, it's important for me to be honest about those things on this podcast. You know, I know that there's family out there of mine that have heard me say that for the first time on this podcast, but this is, you know, this is our fucking domain right now, and it would be a disservice to what I'm trying to achieve with this podcast if I'm not honest about this thing. Quick little disclaimer, but you know, you have to fucking weigh out at some point, are you really artistic if you need anything to be artistic?
Yeah, that's trippy.
And once you fucking say that and you realize that, oh, fuck, I put out the best work when I'm sober, you want to talk about pride. I mean, think about finding out that you never needed anything in order to produce creative work. Yeah. Oh, my God, the gift of the gods, man. I was blessed with this shit. Like, it wasn't just the weed. It wasn't, dude, people... There's a way take it for this. So weed, for example, we'll use that because that's a pretty minute like manipulator of the mind on an artistic level, and people would say that it gives you artistic feelings. It's just weed, man, and all it does is run different synapses in your brain. It makes you think differently. It doesn't give you thoughts. Yeah. Those thoughts already exist. Nobody smokes and figures out something that they never knew before. You know, you just look at things through different angles, you know, and it's the mentality like, oh, I need to smoke to be creative. It's like, no, man, you just need to understand what weed does for you. Okay. The problem with weed is on a physical scale, you'll never do anything. On a mental scale, you can solve all the problems in the world, right?
And you'll never finish them.
Yeah, but physically, you'll fucking watch them all float right on by.
Yeah.
If you can learn to tweak your mind in the same way that weed manipulates your mind on a sober level.
That's I've been starting to do that, and I've tried meditating before, but
it's tough.
Like I actually that Headspace app, like as lame as it sounds, like that actually like it made things a lot easier, because one of the things is there, like, so I'm like, man, every time I try it, my mind just goes crazy,
right?
And the guy's like, okay, let your mind go crazy, then step back and then look at it, and then just try again, and then before you know it, you're like, oh shit, like 10 minutes went by and I didn't have a single thought.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to do that before I go to sleep, because I mentioned it before, like I wake up in the middle of the night, like, the stress of the job is making it worse recently, but like for whatever reason, I just wake up in the middle of the night, I'm wide awake for like 10 minutes, and then I go back to sleep. And then so what I've been trying to do lately is I'm like, I think I have too many thoughts in my mind, and I try to meditate just enough, and I give myself these little like mantras, like as lame as it is, and I think that works better than smoking weed or
for sure
taking melatonin.
Yeah, there's nothing corny about trying to, fathoming how to harness something as complicated as the brain, and it takes a certain, not bravery, but it takes a certain level of honesty to be honest that everybody's brain is doing this. And I think that if everybody, weed is a cool way to make yourself tired enough to go to bed, but if meditation, we all go through those mental thoughts happen to everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody would need some form of meditation. A lot of people smoke weed because it's a form of meditation. It gets you to bed, but you have to, the same way that you have to take care of your mental or your physical health, you have to watch over your mental health. And it's smart of you to feel like there's a lot of shit going on upstairs. I should try and figure this out. And I do like that you had mentioned that you naturally recognize thoughts.
Dude, it's so trippy. Like before, I had kind of heard that theory, like that school of meditation where it's like, okay, let your thoughts, if you're getting frustrated and you're thinking about all this crazy stuff, like step back and think about your thoughts. And it's like, well, wait, who's doing the thinking? Because you step back and you're like, I'm thinking about how my brain is thinking, and you realize like my brain is kind of just a machine. So I go to work and I get trained to do a million different tasks at once, and I'm, grab this, deliver this, run here, that customer needs something. And so when you get home, when you want to go to sleep, that machine of your mind is still like going through all those gears.
Yeah.
So what part of my brain steps back and looks at the machine turning and is like, oh yeah, look at that guy go. Okay, like let's try and, hey buddy, calm down. Like we're just gonna not do anything. Like it's weird to think about yourself in like outside of your own brain.
Well, that would be what I would imagine, and I'm no scholar. This sounds like a lot of like Bhagavad Gita, Hare Krishna monk stuff. But this would be the separation from your mind, right? And observing your mind as its own entity, and then trying to find connection between you and your mind, which is a fucking lifelong task.
Yeah. And it's probably constantly changing,
I have found what works for me is it's definitely deep breathing. And if I am finding myself, because I have a bit of ADD, when I find myself thinking about something a lot, I definitely think the fuck out of that thing.
Yeah.
I let it come in. I used to fight it, and it used to be so frustrating. And I'm like, used to just, oh my God, I'm running out of time. I'm only supposed to meditate for 10 minutes, and now it's 7, and I haven't done anything, and get frustrated. But now I will meditate. I trust my brain's instincts to deliver whatever information is necessary, and I give it that benefit of the doubt. And if I spend that 10 minutes meditating on XYZ, then that's what my brain needed from me for that day. And I kind of approach it with that attitude. So if I am thinking about a decision that was made 6 years ago, maybe I said something really mean to a friend and I'm thinking about it at that time, I'll think about that over and over and over again, and it always ends with, but like that was then and this is now, and you're left with an option. Are you still that person? Absolutely not. Are we going to make decisions today that make you believe that you're far from this person? Yes. So it's always productive, but it's not bad. I don't know. There's people who say that you can really disconnect from your mind, and if you can, you're a fucking stud. I have a hard time doing it. I think that it's just the attempt and to do so is the important part, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever achieve that fucking...
No, I mean...
I was listening to Russell Brand episode on Rogan, and he said that there's like different states you can get into, but I don't know if you completely empty your shit,
I've definitely... You know what's funny too is like, this is kind of like a side track, but when I was working at the restaurant, and now since I've started like this more stressful job in the office, like I can meditate and like zone out easier than I can if I'm laying in like my quiet living room floor with nothing to distract me. Like there's something about, like I remember when I would work at Ruby's, I would, I got a million tables and all this stuff, and I would just like walk up to the window, and I would like, it was almost unconscious. I'd just like stare at a certain point, and I could just sit there and just zone out. And then like I would come back feeling like way more relaxed, even if I only did it for like 30 seconds, but I'd be like way more relaxed, and then you're back to the grind.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think my mind is like, once I hit overload, like it's like I have to hit a point of overload before my mind is like, okay, we need to do something about this. Like, and it's almost like me running away from my problems, like, but in a more productive way. Like,
for sure.
Like when I'm at my office now, like at my desk, like I can just stare at like the computer screen, and it's almost like, it's almost it's kind of like depressing, but like I can just stare at the computer screen, and like before I know it, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I don't even know like what's going on around me. And 30 seconds has passed. I'm like, all right, like a little weight off my shoulder. What are we doing? Like, but if I try to go
what
home
happens
and do
in that? What happens in that 30 seconds?
I don't even know. Like,
you just detach from yourself for a second.
It's almost like a I mean, I know I can hear stuff going on around me, and I know I can see something, but like I could not tell you what I heard, what I saw, how loud it was. Like, it's just it's a weird state to be in.
Well, maybe your subconscious decompresses itself just because it knows that your conscious won't let it,
Yeah.
or something.
And I think too, because I when I played that tournament, I did like mentally, that was like my best mind state or state of mind in a tournament. Because normally with tournaments or league, like I'm a little bit nervous. I hit stuff too hard. I rush. I overthink things. I get frustrated. And this one, and I did some stretching and some meditation before I went there. And then once I was there, I just like, it was very easy to keep my mind, if I miss a shot, okay, that's fine. Lose a match, okay, that's fine. And I think, I don't know, there's some point I was trying to make, but I think I find myself when there's more pressure of, whether it's a pool game or whether it's at work, like I do better in that situation. Like if I have time to overthink things, then that's when I start making mistakes. But when it's like, hey, split second decision, go. Like I work better. Or hey, there's a group of people watching you, and they're all thinking, they're all waiting for you to miss this shot. I'm like, oh really? Bap. Like so I think when it comes to like meditation, it's like my mind is like, oh, there's no way you could like zone out for like 30 seconds or a minute, which is like nothing. But there's like, oh, there's no way you could do that like at work while your boss is 2 feet away from you and you got the phone ringing and all this. And I'm like, oh, watch me. And I just,
And are you
out.
thinking about things in these 30 minutes, or are you just
Nothing.
just absent?
Nothing. I mean, and that's the hardest. Like, how do you describe nothing? Like, it's literally just nothing. I don't know how else to describe it.
That's interesting, man. But it's productive for you,
Yeah.
and it helps out big time.
It's equivalent, and I've always heard this. It's like, people are like, dude, you think weed is crazy? Like, try deep meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, right. Like, you're never gonna fucking convince me of that. And
Right.
and now it's like, dude, that was like doing that for a minute or 30 seconds or whatever. That's like having a beer. That's like, taking a little hit off a joint. Like,
yeah.
It's very weird. And then especially when it comes to pool. And I do like breathing too. That was the other thing that I was really good about at that tournament, as I was like doing that 4-7-8 breathing. Have you ever heard of that? Like,
yeah.
That's my favorite thing to do, and just the whole time walking.
Is that the
around
Wim
table
Hof
shooting.
method?
No, I don't think so. It's you breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it 7, and you blow out for 8.
Yeah.
And it's really relaxing. Like, it's trippy.
Yeah, deep rest will get you fucking going, man.
Yeah.
Especially if you can get that yoga exhale where it's like gets really hot and loud in the back of your throat.
Oh, I don't think I've been that.
I get that.
Do you do yoga? I've never done yoga.
So I do. I have fucked with some yoga in my day. When I stopped smoking pot and shit, I definitely looked for, dude, I enjoy like mental exploration, if you will. Feel free to have that water bottle if you're still thirsty, man.
Oh, yeah.
I was a fan of mental exploration, man. That's what prompted me to do psychedelics. Like I like experimenting with different states. Even I ran. Half of it was because I wanted to be in shape. The other half was because I wanted to experience this runner's high, right? And just kind of explore all the natural fruits that, are there on a natural level, or all the not phenomenons, all the and not experiences. I don't know. Maybe I'll think of that. I wanted to indulge in all the
states or
states. Sensations.
Oh, okay.
We'll do sensations. So I wanted to indulge in all the natural sensations that can be achieved through just doing things that weren't substance related. And because this was after I agreed that I wouldn't. So yeah, I did do some yoga. I did yoga also to kind of take care of my shit. We're getting older, and I was kind of doing this. I had this like back thing where, so I was playing beach volleyball one day, and I love playing beach volleyball. I play it every summer, like a couple hours a week. And Kenzie came up behind me one day to give me a hug, and I stood up too quick, and I think like a rib got caught in my abdominal muscle or something for a split second. I stood up, and it just popped out like this, like one of my ribs, and it shifted my back a little bit.
Fuck.
I think, and it went back into place. But the problem is what happened the next day is my muscles were swollen and tight, and I woke up the next day and was crooked. Like I was I'm gonna draw it out for the camera. So here's my neck, and here's my here's my pelvis, here's my neck. It was like this, and I was fucking crooked, and I spent a day or two like that, and I was in terrible pain. I couldn't walk across the parking lot. I felt a tremendous amount of pressure on one of my discs. I did all the tests, put my knee to my chest. Turns out I didn't slip a disc because I could do all the fucking things that you wouldn't be able to if you had a herniated disc. And I went to the chiropractor. Pop, 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 pop. And I was like, oh, fuck. And he was like, come back in a week. And it was better. Boom. Adjust me again. I was good. The chiropractor would have had me come in every fucking day for my life, taking my fucking insurance money. But after 2 times, I was like, hey, man, like, I don't know how good this is for me.
I've heard that about chiropractors. Like, for some people, it's amazing, but a lot of it is like...
you got to let it go. You got to break up with him. I had to break up with him. He was just like, next week, and I was like, no, man, like my back's fixed.
Yeah.
You know, my back's like, what could you possibly? And when I would do it, I would lay on the table and fold me like a fucking lawn chair, you know, and shit. It's like, dude, this isn't good, you know. So, but sure enough, life went on, and one day I did like I was at the gym, I was doing weightlifting, I was doing deadlifts, and I was fine. I woke up the next day, and my back was back to what it was. So I had to hit up my ex. The chiropractor, and went back in there and was like, hey man, my back's fucked up again, and oh, what happened to you? And everybody had the
look who decided to show up. Crawling back.
Yeah, look at crawling back. So they did it, and I got my back kind of figured out. There wasn't a lot to do, and this second time was less effective, and I did a ton of reading, and it turns out that if you lack, I've always been like well, not always, but the past 10 years I've been skinnier, and so I never really did abs. I just kind of like did things that I thought were fun, you know, in the gym. But it turns out that you need a strong core in order to just kind of to have a core, you know, for lack of better words. So
if your back is too strong and your abs aren't strong enough, then
you're susceptible to have fucked up posture. So I was like, okay, fuck this guy. I broke up with him again, and was like, I'm gonna do yoga and take better care of my core. And ever since, it's been cool. But within that time, I got into yoga. To bring it back full circle, I got into yoga, and so a big part of it was that I would do yoga, restorative yoga, which is there's different kinds of yogas. There's like Hermosa Beach yoga, which is like boot camp where they put on Little John and you got to do like jumping jacks and shit. All the chicks call that yoga, but it's not fucking yoga. Then there's flow yoga, which is pretty hard, and I think that's what you typically see. That's like the Warrior One to like and it's
a lot
hard.
of arm.
It's hard to do
poses and stuff.
And then there's restorative yoga, which I was a fan of, and that's really like you're fucking in a dark room. She walks around, sprays the aromatherapy shit, and you just stretch for an hour, like stretch, like really like
twist. But it's like guided, like we're gonna do this.
Yeah, it's guided and it's slow, and you're not ever doing anything that like kind of takes muscle, you know, or athleticism. You're just like pushing your knee out this way while it's over your shin and really feeling that like stretch and there's like the fucking music going, and it's nice, dude. It's really nice, and that's a cool time to work on your breathing, you know. And like when I talk about the yoga breathing, is like one of the big things is like you're supposed to focus on your you're supposed to be meditating the whole time, empty mind, only thinking about your body and your stretches, and they teach you a breathing technique, and it's like in through your nose, but the out is like a
I see that like
it's like out the back of your throat. I don't know,
there's different ways, like, you know, you can like that 4-7-8 breathing. It's like you're supposed to blow, like, you know, like make a sound like with your lips, and then this other guy was like, and you also need to touch the tip of your tongue to the back of your teeth.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's other like
you get that.
Yeah, like,
dude.
I saw one. It doesn't really work for me, but because I was like, man, if there's that breathing technique to relax, I wonder if there's one like give you energy. And there is, like, you're supposed to like fold your hands, like cover one nostril like into your nose hole, like. It's very it didn't work for me. I probably was doing it wrong. Yeah. But it's just trippy. And then like that yogic breathing, like you said, it's like sometimes I'll watch these videos, I'm like, why the fuck is that guy breathing like that?
Yeah.
But it's like a technique.
And it works. And like that's the one thing about me, yoga is like, dude, I'm sorry about that chair. Everybody has a problem with that fucking chair. That chair.
Dude, I'm happy to be in a chair, dude.
For sure.
I love
I was gonna make you stand, but we found the chair last minute. Yeah, that's the thing about yoga, right? Is like it's that's the whole thing about quote unquote fucking this word, dude. Spiritual. Like that's the whole thing about like spiritual shit is like at what line, you know, you don't want to be like too spiritual. You don't want to like
Does it work?
You want to like put on
prove
beads.
This here? Like,
put on beads. You kind of want it to be backed by practice, you know? It's not just like put on the fucking Thailand flowy pants and like fucking
Because then it's like an image at that point.
Yeah,
you
don't want to be that guy, you know. And I
Yeah.
don't mind talking about yoga, but I definitely don't I don't mind being, but I don't know. It's not me and that type of shit. I think they just get excited, and a lot of people, I don't know. That's a weird image, right? That's a weird self-image. People, I think, but it's exciting. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be judging people, but it's just that over spiritual thing is like yeah. And the yoga that I like, the dark room aromatherapy and shit, that can be very okay. Take listen to your hips, you know, and that shit, and it's cool.
It works for some people, but for you and me and, you know, a lot of other people,
you want something a little bit more practical. I do enjoy a soft voice, and I do enjoy like kind of like guided meditation type shit, but like happy hips, you know, and shit. It gets a little hokey, and it can get hokey out there. But with yoga, you just want to find there's some really cool there's some cool classes out there, and it's like there's all kinds of yoga classes. I have a yoga chick, so I go to my gym, and there's 3 different yoga classes a week, 3 different teachers, and each one is very different. The aromatherapy one, the chick is very like stern. It's almost guided meditation. One of them's very like hokey, happy hips, nice, happy fucking chest, fucking whatever. And then another chick is super scientific and super like calling out muscle names, you know, and like, and almost is like, and she's like, I think she's German, and she's, I mean, it's, so there's different kinds of yoga.
Then it's like, okay, well, you don't want to go too far in the other direction where it's, you know,
exactly
like,
where it turns into like beer fest, where they're like running on the treadmills and like everything's like
competition.
Okay,
and, oh, your form sucks.
Your form sucks. Get it together. Quick kick to the ribs. No, you don't. You want like that nice. You want a nice medium, dude. You want a nice medium, and if you can get like some normal looking folks in there that aren't like, you know, beat it up with, you know, I don't know. But it's fun, dude. It's like, I understand getting super into the spiritual like image, because I think that, you know, maybe I'm a fucking idiot, you know, maybe like I haven't gotten there yet. So how the fuck could I get it?
Enough,
maybe I'm not fucking enlightened, man. Cause like, I don't know. I could see if you had tapped into some side of yourself like that you didn't know existed, and you were quote unquote enlightened, how you'd be down to service yourself towards that the rest of your life, you know? And I definitely believe in, like, as far as religion goes, I was baptized, but I definitely believe in more of like a Buddhist approach to the world, recycled energy, karma, what goes around goes around. That shit makes more sense, you know? Is that spiritual as fuck? So, you know, maybe I'm just, you know, maybe
I think we all.
I'm the idiot with the LA tattoo on my leg. What the fuck do I know?
That's like how everyone's gonna interpret. I think we all interpret the same universe just differently. You know, for some people it looks like God. For some people it looks like science. For some people it looks like they can't put their finger on it, so they just go to work and don't give a shit about it. You know?
But it's all the same thing, different names. Yeah, it's crazy. So. What dude, fucking 2 hours already, bro. You're a fucking blast. What's fucking next on your pool agenda, dude? You just doing tournaments? You got plans for like your content? I know you want to like vandalize some expensive tables.
No, I mean, I just want to keep posting videos that, you know, I like doing the trick shots and stuff, but, you know, I want to do like more like edits and stuff. The trick shots are fun, and a lot of them that I try to do are like, okay, that might actually come up in a game. You know,
for
like,
sure.
You know, there's you're never gonna shoot it, but at least there's some reason. But yeah, it's been, you know, the wedding happened, and then, you know, stuff with my job, and then we're going to Spain for the honeymoon. So
we're going to Spain too.
Really?
Yeah. When are you going to Spain?
August 1st.
We'll be in Spain in September.
Oh, really?
Yeah. fuck, we just
Same.
missed it. They've been
Yeah.
sick to see you in a bazaar, my bruh.
Oh shit!
That
I
would've
didn't even
been-
think about the bazaars.
Yeah, that would have been fucking tight. I don't know if they got them in Spain. I don't know what to expect. I think we're going to Morocco too. Morocco's
Oh,
got
really?
some motherfucking bazaars.
Ooh, yeah.
For sure. It's about to
Scan
get
Morocco.
bizarre in the bazaar, dude. That should be fun. Dude, so you don't, and you're doing all of your cutting on a cell phone?
Yeah, just the iMovie app or whatever. Well, and that was the
You
original.
don't have a laptop or anything like that?
No, the one that I have is like old and the screen doesn't work, and I don't have like any good programs to edit with. I do have, in an ideal world, because I almost bought a camera. I used to have a really nice GH4 that could do all this shit, but I had to sell it. But yeah, in an ideal world, what I would like to do is film like better videos, and I kind of want to get into live streaming like money games, which is funny because I'm always talking about, nobody really plays for money around here, but I do think it would be interesting to, and they do have that, like for when there's bigger tournaments, they'll have like one table that's like we're gonna live stream that, whoever's playing on that one this round, have a couple guys commentate. But I think something like that.
But dude, you could take a tripod and put a phone mount to the top
Yeah.
of it, and like starting tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I want to do that, but I also like, and that's a big problem with the pool world is that, I mean, thank God there are people out there doing that and at these tournaments, but there's a huge difference between watching that and watching something on ESPN where they have a couple different cameras and it's all high def and there's smooth camera movements, smooth editing, and all that, and a shot clock. God, we need a shot clock. That's the other thing is these matches people will spend a minute walking around looking at the table, and it's like, all right, you just lost me. I don't want to watch this anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something like that. I want to make stickers, and I have a bunch of like skit ideas that I want to do that I just haven't gotten around to filming. But
All pool related?
yeah, pretty much.
You gotta
There's
do
some
'em.
there's some skate stuff, but
Yeah, I see the skate stuff. See your
dude,
front side flip right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done a proper frontside flip maybe ever, and I
So
did
that was
day.
my favorite trick because Andrew Reynolds was my favorite
Yeah.
skateboarder growing up. The whole
Dude.
piss drunk crew was like,
Mm.
they were fucking rad to me.
Yeah.
And
And our pool team, like, we're the piss drunks of pool, or of our like little pool scene. Like,
yeah,
we're decently good, but mainly we just get drunk and loud and
yeah, but it's
piss
fun.
people off.
It's fun.
Yeah, and that's the other that's why I like making these fucking videos, because if other skateboarders, other people that don't play pool are like, oh, that was a cool shot, whatever, it's nerdy pool. They're like, oh shit, like, you see this video, you see what that guy did at the bar, you see the spilled drink on the table, like
Yeah.
that's the kind of I'm so influenced by skate videos, like that's
Yeah.
what I want my videos to look
Yeah, I
like.
grew up on fucking like do you remember the Baker videos? They were so
Yeah.
crude.
Yeah.
And like Flip Sorry, Ali Bilala's part on it, there's like 40% of it's skating, the other fucking 60 of it is like him smashing guitars and swearing at the
throwing
camera.
up and
Yeah.
his ass, like,
Yeah, my ass is out. Yeah, Flip Sorry, man. I miss those old videos. I remember those, and I was talking about. Do you remember CKY?
yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Shit, that was yesterday. These podcasts, man, they fly by.
Mm.
I'm so stoked that they get documented though, because they're always fun to look back on.
Yeah.
Real quick, skateboarding. So are you? Oh, actually, two questions. One, will you ever not be the piss drunk crew? Do you think to take your pool career seriously, or is that not what you're trying to get out of pool?
I mean, I like, speaking for myself,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm out of my friends, I'm probably the most serious pool player. The other guys, they play, they love playing, but I play every single day, and they play like once or twice a week.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I definitely am more obsessed with it than they are. So
And you'll go in there by yourself,
yeah, most of the time that's all I'm doing.
and you'll play yourself type deal.
Yeah.
Really?
I just love hitting balls, and
That's epic.
yeah. And sometimes like people want to play me, I'm like, man, then I'm only gonna be able to play like half as much. Like,
Yeah.
but it's all good.
Aren't you stoked to have found something that you love that much?
Yeah.
Do you ever think about that there's like a big chunk of population out there who don't know?
What do you do?
Like, well, no, I feel bad. I look at, because that was me while I was smoking. Is I don't know, dude. But once you fucking find it, you got to go for it, right?
Yeah.
And that's like, it's a little voice that keeps you in the pool hall every day, man. It's crazy to think that there's some folks out there still. Well, it's not. It's crazy to think because I was one of them, but it's crazy. It's more crazy now to have found something that I really care about. And to anybody watching who hasn't found that yet, man, you just got to fucking, if it wasn't for, what was it, you playing 2 days after your birthday?
Yeah.
Just randomly. And
if I would have said no and not did that, who the hell knows what I'd be doing?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been, anything could have happened to you, you know? So moral of the story is, be a fucking yes man.
Yeah.
And try everything if you have not found your passion yet. And then second, are you over skating because potentially you hurting yourself and not being able to play pool?
Well, not playing pool. I don't know if there's anything I could do besides hitting my head that I would get injured.
Like you falling weird on your fucking wrist or something?
I've definitely...
let's both knock on wood.
I've definitely thought about that.
Knock on that. That's real wood. Okay. It's got a big double sure here.
But because I used to skate almost every day, and then I started playing pool more, and I just transitioned from skating every day to skating some days, playing pool some days, to playing pool every day.
Yeah.
And I just take big chunks of time off, and then you go to skate, and it's like everything hurts. Dude, my heels, like that, all I did that day was frontside flips on flat ground and jump off a 2-stair, and the bottom of my heel for like 2 weeks, like terrible pain.
Really?
Like it's still when I walk on it, if I don't wear like really, really comfortable shoes, like I can't walk more than like 5 minutes without being like, I gotta fucking start walking with a limp here.
You gotta get the Scholes, Dr. Scholes.
Yeah, oh definitely. I need to start buying shoes that fit them, because I have my old skate insoles, but you gotta buy like a bigger pair of shoes to fit them in. But no, it's more about for work too. I'm a little bit luckier now that I'm in the office, but if I would have like hurt my knee, I've had knee problems too. Like when I was a delivery driver, and it's like, okay, you can't lift any weight. Like, okay, my work, what they're gonna pay me to sit around? Like, I was like, fuck, if I can't injure my knee. Like I can't, I can't break an arm. Like, yeah. But yeah, it's whatever. And then, the fear of that happening coinciding with, like I'm older, I'm fatter, I don't skate that often. So I skate small stuff. I don't do anything crazy.
Yeah.
But even like you were saying, you did that, when you hurt your rib or whatever,
uh-huh.
I was going for a frontside board slide, and I didn't even fall. Like I had to kick the board out, and my body just did some weird twisting motion.
Yeah, weird tweak.
And this like sharp pain went up, and I was like, "Did I just rip my liver?" Like I didn't even know what it was.
Did you rip your liver?
I was like, and then of course like there's all these kids walking around, and I'm like trying to be cool, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, okay, how bad is this? And I'm like, okay, Joe, get in the car and go home and rest. And I'm like, I'll keep skating a little bit, see where this goes.
Board slide.
Yeah, and luckily it didn't turn into anything. But I was like, I didn't even fall, and I just got injured. But
yeah. Well, fuck, man. I fucking am so appreciative of you coming through and doing this. It's fucking, I love, this just goes to show that, like, I mean, anybody can fucking come on this thing. And I hope as your pool shark, as you don't like to put it, as your pool shark career progresses, you'll come back on and we'll get some solid hangs out of this.
Yeah.
You got any tournaments or anything coming up?
No, and that's the other thing that sucks. There's not a lot of tournaments around here. But not really. I mean, there might be a local tournament on like a Saturday night, like a smaller one.
You let me know, and I'll blast it up on here.
Yeah,
for sure.
And we're gonna. There is one in Vegas, that same one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm almost positive I'm not gonna go to. But yeah.
Okay. Well, next time you got something hooked up, you let me know, and we'll blast it up on here.
Okay.
Check out fucking Joel's Instagram at
Jump bank.
Jump bank. That's
One
right.
word.
What's that name from? What's jump bank?
That okay. So
We should
like
talk about that real quick.
jump, like a jump shot.
Yeah.
And then hitting the ball into the rail and into the pocket, like jump bank.
Oh, okay.
Because at first I was like, oh, I want to do jump kick because like that's a shot too.
Uh-huh.
Like, and then it also sounds like jumping and kicking. Like,
Yeah.
I was like that's cool.
No,
but
jump bank's clean, dude. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. It took me about 3 minutes to come up with something.
It was a solid 3 minutes. All right,
Yeah.
brother. Knuckles. All right. I appreciate you. Peace out, guys. Word up, dude.
Nice.